Hello, guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It is Yaro and Adrian with the Friendly Show. It is the last episode of season 1, episode number 10, and we are wrapping up the year. So, today we are going to talk about the accomplishments of 2023 and the plans for 2024, obviously.
Yeah, it's been a wild year. A wild. I think for you as well. Like for me, it was really wild, but I know that it was for you as well. What what were like your highlights for 2023?
So the most important thing definitely is that I became a father. So now I have a son named Mark. He was born in July, and well, I mean, there's no bigger highlight for me. But you're also a very young father.
Yes. So last year in October, at the end of October, my son was born, Oliver, and this year has been just incredible. Seeing him just transform from like every 2 months, he transforms to a different person. Like in the beginning, he's just like a tiny mollusk. He doesn't do anything but cry and poop, but then it starts to smile, starts to point at you, then starts to crawl, then starts to walk, and all these cool things. And you basically see you have like basically a new kid every 2 months, and that was very very rewarding for us. You might have noticed this, like you learn a lot, you transform as a person, you have to adapt to new situations, and I think it's super rewarding having a kid, and it helps you become a better person.
I mean, I'm just thinking like, why didn't I do it earlier? Like, what were we waiting
Yeah.
for?
Yep. I agree. I think one of my hidden desires, it was to be like at some point to be a young father, but now it's okay. It's like some time has passed, but it is a tiny bit of regret that why didn't we do it, didn't we have him earlier.
But there's this
Yeah.
notion like, it's not cool to be a young father. You should like first get accomplished, like have everything
Yeah.
ready, and I know you can be waiting until whatever age.
Yep.
So
No.
I would suppose
Yeah.
that that's kind of a false narrative.
Yes,
That
I
like
agree. I agree.
you should wait till I know when you're 50 to have a child, whatever.
No, that
No,
that definitely.
no,
So
I mean it's like
one of
30,
the
35.
Yeah, one of the things that I was speaking with my wife about was, when he's going to be 18, at his graduation party or something, when he finishes like high school, you're going to be like, what, we're going to be like 50 something, like it's going to be like this big age gap between us. So everything, it's going to be more difficult for us to relate to him or relate to together. And you're going to be old, and you maybe don't want to do so many things, but when you're young, you still have like plenty of energy, and you'll still have plenty of energy for the kid and for doing work and um, careers and everything. So yeah, definitely I would say you could have him younger.
Well, as long as you take the kid to kindergarten and they don't think, oh, grandma brings the child to, grandpa brings the child to the kindergarten,
Yeah.
how cute.
Yeah. Well, every person has a different, context and perspective. Some people have more spare time, some don't. Some have some have the grandparents close to their home, some don't. So, there's no judging there. But yeah, it's nice to be involved in the life of your kid, like wholesome everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
your kid is around like a year and 2 months old now.
Yes.
hmm
14 months.
hmm My Mark, he's 6 months old now.
Okay, how is it? Like 6 months? I feel like 4, 5, 6 months. That's when he started turning into something more interactive, and you could do things with him, and you can expect a response, and he'll, give you a response back.
So a couple of months ago, one interactive game we could play is like, for example, mommy is holding him, and I'm saying like peekaboo, and he's feeling shy, and he's like turning his head away, like, and Now it's like I walk around and he follows me with his head, with his eyes, or laughs a lot and turns on his stomach.
And that's great, right? That's great to
Mhm.
have even that kind of interaction. Like it sounds like a small thing maybe for people that from the outside, but that's amazing to see how like you made that thing, you and
Mhm.
in your wife, you know.
Yeah, and
Uh,
actually, a few months ago, you recommended me to get a few balloons that like
yep,
go up like the helium, and
helium balloons.
yeah, we got these balloons, and it's really amazing. He's like playing with them, pulling them all the time.
Yes. So basically, if you have a toddler, get some helium balloon, like not a toddler, a baby. Get some helium balloons. Put him on, put the baby on his back, and tie the balloons to their hands and feet, and they will, push their hands and feet and wiggle, and the balloons will move, and they'll be, entertained for 20, 30 minutes for sure. You can just leave him there, and he's just gonna be just fine. So it's a very good trick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always cool to find things that like just keep the baby busy for a while, and you have these 20 minutes of free time.
Yes, yes, yes. Um,
Okay,
yep.
so one big highlight for 2023 are the babies, and well, actually, I calculated I've released 68 videos on Super Rails in 2023.
Ooh, that's amazing, man. That's super cool. That's like one every 5 days. That's a very good, cadence. You've been busy.
Yeah.
How are you able to do that?
Oh, it's really. I don't have a schedule, so like it's not one each week. It's just like when I have the inspiration. So sometimes it's I know 3 or 4 videos during 1 week, and then one video in 2 weeks. I really can't focus. So if I tell myself like make one video per week, it feels like it's a chore, it's a job. And
Yep. Yep.
you see, when I don't put this like stress on me, like you have to have a schedule, I even over delivered. So like
Nice.
if you want to make 52 videos per week, you make 52 videos. 52 videos per year, you make one per week. But like I don't put this stress on myself, and I basically over delivered on what I wanted.
That's amazing, man. And you put up like some good content. I've been doing some work on Avo in the past few months, and like I've been googling things, and I found your videos, and they were just exactly what I needed. So good job. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
but to me, it is sometimes annoying when I'm trying to find a solution.
And you
and,
find
and
your own, but is it helpful? Like sometimes, like most of the times it's helpful, right? When you
hmm.
get that, like you get the solution.
So when searching for a solution and finding my own stuff, it is more valuable for me the blog posts, because I usually have like
Okay,
code snippets that I just like would copy paste into the app that I'm working on. So again,
gotcha.
like I've created the article on the turbo morphin with my notes about
Yep.
it a couple of days ago, and I've already like copy pasted from that article many times while trying it in different apps.
Nice, nice, beautiful. I'll check it
Yeah.
out. I'll definitely want to check it out.
Talking of blog posts, so I have 55 blog posts written in 2023. So 68
That's
screencasts and 55 blog posts.
That's amazing, man. You're doing amazing. It's just great. Um,
Yeah. Then next highlight, we started the Friendly Show,
yep.
and
And this is our 10th episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
How
mhm.
how does it feel? How does it feel?
Oh, I mean, it's fun. So initially, me and Adrian started talking when we met on Wroclaw RB in 2022. And we just like kept hanging out and talking to each other. I liked Adrian. I don't know, maybe Adrian liked me.
Yeah,
And
definitely, definitely.
then we were really thinking like, should we, I know, do some talking, some like kind of podcast, and we were really hesitant because it could become like a show or whatever, but we're taking quite a chill
Yeah,
approach. Again, no strict like cadences,
rules.
no
Yep,
strict topics. Like whenever we are ready, whenever we feel inspired, or whenever there is a nice guest to talk about, to talk with.
yep. Yep, I agree. I think that was the most important thing that we set in the beginning. Like, okay, no rules, no cadence, no nothing. Let's try and just do what we usually talk, maybe, and get some other people involved, but just do it, without any strict rules, because we have other things in going on, and if it feels like a chore, if it feels like another job, it's not going to be natural, it's not going to be okay. And we started out, it was a little bit rocky, but I think it's getting there. I think we have maybe 10 followers now or something, 15. Thank you for everybody. Our wives and a
Hey
few other
guys.
people. Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate every subscriber. Yeah, so it was great. I learned a lot, and I think having this podcast, um, gives us the opportunity to talk to really cool and interesting people, as we did this year. We spoke with Andrea with the Hotwire Cookbook, Mariusz from Poland, Andre Arco from Ruby Gems and from Ruby Central, Jonathan Markwell. That was an amazing episode. Jonathan is a very skillful marketer. So yeah, it just gives us the opportunity to talk to very cool, interesting people and let everybody know what we're up to, and send our updates.
And
Yeah,
like basically like talking to Andre, talking to Mariusz, Jonathan, we basically were talking to friends that we just hang out with.
yeah,
So that
yep,
makes it a
yep.
friendly show.
Yes. Definitely brings on some more friendliness. We're just gonna have to see what we're gonna do next year. We gotta, we have some people on the list. We'll figure it out.
I mean, season
Right?
2 has to be better than season 1.
Definitely,
So, guys,
definitely.
if you have any ideas about what should be in season 2, or like what guests we should invite, what flair we should give to the podcast, then please share it with us in the comments or anywhere.
Definitely. And thank you for listening and subscribing. Like, we're just two guys talking about stuff. Um, Speaking about numbers, I think we've hit like very good numbers on events that we've been hanging out on this year. We've seen each other where, like, on Rail SAS, where we both spoke in
Yeah.
Athens.
Yuruko, Friendly
Yuruko, friend,
RB, Rails World,
yes,
Helvetic.
help, yes.
So these are 5, and I think you've been to more.
I've been to a couple more. Yeah, I've been to Brighton as well. I've been to Vilnius, to the user group, and to Warsaw as well. So I've done I think 8 Ruby events. Actually 9 if we count Ruby Romania, because we started out the first initiative of Ruby meetups in Romania. Which I want to talk a little bit about. We started the first meetup, and now we are going on the road. So in January we'll be in Sibiu, then we're going to be in Cluj, then we're going to be in Timișoara. So we're going to be on the road next year. So if you're from Romania and you're listening, get in touch with us, rubyromania.ro. This is a new initiative for us to popularize Ruby a little bit more in Romania.
It sounds
So
so
yeah,
cool. Like we're gonna visit this city and that city. It's like the nationwide tour. You're like on
exactly.
tour.
Exactly, and people are excited. So we spoke with a few people on, like, in 3 different cities, and people are excited. They're like, oh yeah, I want to do this, like I want to have this, like why didn't we do it before, like but we're gonna go places and try to meet people and try to spark new communities, new Ruby communities in different cities, because I know there are developers that miss these kinds of things. So we'll keep you up to date with things.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. One of the biggest highlights for this year for me were actually visiting these Ruby events and meeting all these wonderful
Yeah.
people. I know I have the feeling that I know some of them like forever now, but we've met just a few times, but on different conferences. But
Yes.
it feels like ages between the conferences, so really maybe like we meet every 3 or 4 months, but it feels like, oh, we met a year ago and a year ago,
Yep.
and here we meet again.
Yes, yes. I feel like Rail SAS in Athens sparked this nucleus, this core of people that we met and we hang out at different conferences. Like I just want to, shout out to Marco Roth, Alex, like
Julian,
who, Julian, yes, of course. Who else? I think I'm missing a few people. Casper, we met him at two conferences.
Peter, and Mia.
Um, Peter and Mia. Who else? Mario Schutel from Helvetic RB. Hannah, we met Hannah as well. The people from Poland, Mariusz and Pavel. Like, so many cool new people. So this is just a shout out. Thanks for the amazing time we had this year. I feel like it was so freaking special to have this posse around, like this core of people. But then, at every conference we get new people involved, and we like, let's just tell people about Post RB maybe a little bit, or just keep it a surprise. So-
So I think we can keep it as a surprise till the first post RB event.
okay, okay, perfect. Just remember this name, Post RB. Yeah, so it was an amazing experience meeting all like these core nucleus of people in different locations and making new friends, and just improving the community, and making, and I'm not making sure, but seeing how amazing this core Ruby community is. So yeah, a big year for conferences. um and this was the first year, like if we're on the conference subject, this was the first year where we put out the Friendly RB. It's me and five of my friends. It's Jakob, Lucian, Alex, and Stefan. It's our first conference. I think it went really nice. It's a 2-day single track conference. We had amazing speakers like Xavier Noria, Elena Tanasoyu, Jeremy Smith. I'm missing. I'm blanking out so many freaking good, cool speakers and very cool attendees. And I'm super happy to announce that we started organizing, 2024. So we published the dates. We have our first 2 confirmed speakers, but I'm not going to share it now who they are. But I think you'll know them. That one of them is very known and one is not very known. But so this is exactly what we want with Friendly. We want to bring some very cool and well-known people and some newcomers to the stage. So I think we did that in a nice balanced way last year, and this year we started. So I have 2 confirmations. So if you want to speak, we're going to have the call for papers out soon, probably in January or February. And if you want to attend, we have the tickets open, so definitely reach out. If you want to sponsor a really cool event for where people really have a good time and like to hang out, definitely reach out to us. We would love we would love your help. So yeah, Friendly RB was amazing this year and next year. So and a really cool conference scene as well for all the Ruby community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like outside of work, outside of outside of Ruby, what else would you say like you've done this year? Cool stuff, like
So
just like random life stuff.
So it's been like from life and family. It's been mostly like outside work. It's been mostly about family, about the kid, and hanging out. Like having a kid now, all the grandparents want to see him. So all of our parents live in 3 different cities. So we moved a lot this year. We did this. We call it a tour because my mom lives in a city, my dad in a different city, and my wife's parents in a different city. So we moved a lot because they want to see the Oliver, and we did a lot of that. And outside of that, I think my biggest thing was learning to sail. I took sailing lessons, and
That's
I
what I
went
was waiting
to
for.
Yeah. And I went to my first expedition in Greece for about a week, which was just amazing. We lived on a boat and we cooked and we did a lot of maneuvers and practiced sailing, and it was just an amazing adventure. And I want to have this like a yearly thing from now on, like get a boat once a year at least, and do that for a week with the whole expedition with the whole crew. What
So
about
I've also
yourself?
been doing some kind of sailing.
Yeah.
I've been doing catamaran sailing, catamaran.
Okay.
So it's not like a proper boat, but a kind of smaller boat. And
Yes.
also, I've been doing a lot of windsurfing.
Oh, that's amazing. Windsurfing sounds so great. My sister does kite surfing, and I'm so freaking jealous that I don't have that much time to do it.
Kite surfing
Yeah.
is like the next level of coolness after windsurfing. It's cooler than windsurfing.
Yes. And you know what I've seen like yesterday on a TikTok? You can do they call it snow surfing. No, kiteboarding or something. You can take a snowboard with a
Mhm.
kite, and you can do snowboarding with a kite. That felt so amazing. Maybe I'll give it a try sometime. I don't know. It looks difficult to do.
I know I'm kind of a bit scared of winter sports because most of the people I know who have done winter sports broke different parts of their bodies.
Yes. I have a friend like that, a few friends like that. But so I started my wife and I started learning snowboarding like 3 years ago, and we had like I think we went twice or three times, and I think we starting to get the feel for it. And I just want to say snowboarding is super cool. I did some skiing before, but snowboarding is so much cooler and so much nicer to do. And I would just say, just give it a try and see if it works for you. You go, one season, you take some lessons, like proper lessons from a proper instructor, and see where it gets you. Because if you do it safely, if you listen to the warnings and you don't do anything wild, it should be okay. I think you know
Maybe.
maybe yeah.
Yeah. How's
Yeah.
it going with Avo?
Oh, it was good. We had a good year. We had like I feel like from the past 3 years, like this one has been the first one where I didn't have to worry a lot about like the income and about if I'm doing the right thing, and if I'm like I spoke about this at different podcasts. Like I always with Avo, I was questioning myself like, hey, should I get a job because this isn't really working out for me very well. But this year we did very well with growth. We did very well with like financially. Paul, which was a junior dev, he was part-time for a year. Now he's full-time on Avo. We're thinking about maybe adding another junior person on the team to help out at least part-time, and that would help the Ruby community as well. So it's Avo has become like a really full featured product, something that people can use and it brings so much value to them. And yeah, it was the thing. Like I'm very grateful for Avo because it allowed me to spend so much time with the family this year, and allowed me to like travel to go to conferences and everything and meet so many cool people, but allowed me to not worry that much about my income, and spend some time with the family, especially that I have this young kid. And if anybody else is thinking about building a product, thinking about building a product for the Ruby and Rails community, definitely give it a try because there is a market there. And if I can help, reach out, and I'll definitely jump on a call and help out. So Avo has been doing great. It brings so much value, and it's going to be here for a while. So yeah.
Yeah, but I guess there are now quite a few products for like premium, like paid products for the Ruby community. So
Yes.
there is like Avo
Yes.
for like admin dashboards. There are like starter kits, jumpstart,
Yes. Bullet
bulletin,
train.
and maybe something
Yep.
else. A few different
Yes.
UI kits,
Yes.
sidekick.
Yes. I think people are starting to figure out that paid products like these, they bring so much value because the people that are working on them have so much incentive to work and put out such a good product and bring value to their customers. So open source is great and it works very well for, like, I don't want to say most, but some projects, for some types of projects. But some of them, they require so much work that nobody, like, I don't want to say nobody can do it, but you can't do it in, you can't build something like Avo with two people and do it part-time. You really can't, and you can't bring value. And it's the same for Sidekick, the same for Bullet Train, for Jumpstart. We all know, like, the two of us know, like, we know, I know Andrew, and I know how much, like, I don't want to say money, but how many resources they are poured into Bullet Train, and how much work and how many people are working on that to ensure that it's such a valuable product and everything is polished out, everything works very well out of the box. It's extendable, it's modular. So you really can't have that much that much level of detail and value without some resources going in some way or another. Some projects are sponsored by a big company like maybe Shopify or GitHub, or some don't, and that's just the truth. And most, like, if you read about it, most of the open source maintainers, they have a hard time providing for their families. Some of them are abandoning projects or don't spend so much time on that project because they don't have the resources. They have to get a job. And I think that people and developers are starting to see that, okay, hey man, if I pay, like, 200, 500, $700 per year for something, it brings me more value than that money. So it's very cheaper to buy versus build. So I think that shows how the community is a little bit more mature in that way. So I'm really happy to see that going on. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a lot. That was a lot. Yeah, it's a
a
little
lot of
bit of a
process.
rant.
But
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a rant from me because I've been trying to monetize this project and
like
product, and yeah,
for myself, I've just been witnessing, like, you've been at some point of time doing some work with a startup for like freelance marketers or something, and I was wondering, like, is Avo going to go to the side? And then we catch up, and you tell me no, like, I thought about it, and now, like, I'm going all in onto
yes,
Avo. I'm going to, like, dedicate all my time to it. I'm going to make it the best version of itself. I don't want to, like, get sidetracked on other stuff. And I thought, like, whew, Ava is Ava is going to be good for the next many years.
yes, yes, yeah, definitely full on for Avo. We have some many cool things to bring on next year. One of the most important aspects we want to bring is improve the developer experience. People that have been using Avo, they know there are some things, maybe buttons don't show up or whatever, policy, whatever. So better developer experience. And a few cool features that are going to bring so much value for you and for your customers, and just shave off a lot of time from building new projects.
Yeah. So
um
myself, I've been actually created a, like, beta basic version of superrails.com. I've been doing the videos under the Superrails brand for quite a few years, and never had the time to actually build a homepage for the videos, and like, where people can comment or something. And
yeah,
this year I built a basic version, so where there are, like, all my videos. You can leave a comment, you can like or unlike a video. And it was a bit weird. So initially I was bullying with a friend, and he's been helping me in, like, taking up smaller tasks, and it really wasn't going very well for me. So, like, working,
okay,
I know, on such a tiny product, and trying to delegate tasks, because like, the delegation of tasks, and like, checking the code, leaving all this feedback, was taking so much time that I could have done it much faster on my own. And
yeah,
just a couple of days ago, I saw an article from Jorge Manrubia, where he was writing about, like, kind of build the MVP on your own, and then start accepting contributions or external help on the maintenance, but like build the
Yeah.
core of the product
Yeah.
quickly and on your own. And
I agree.
like with Super Rails, kind of I made the mistake of trying to build with kind of a team from the very
Yeah.
beginning, and it just slowed me down dramatically.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that statement. You need to push out your vision first, like the MVP part of your vision, to have it out there, because you're going to ensure that you have all the moving parts that you need, and then bring on contributions to fill up the gaps, improve the experience. And yeah, I totally agree with that thing. But it's okay, like, if you like, I'm the kind of person that learns from mistakes, and I think most people like are the same. So you make a mistake, you learn, so you just bettered yourself, improved on that matter. Do you have new things you want to bring for the new year, or with Super Rails? Do you have anything in mind?
With Super Rails, I will keep recording videos. I will create a small tool where people can submit video ideas and vote for video ideas.
That's great.
So that's the main thing, and I'll maybe try to focus more on making videos that people want rather than videos that I feel like making.
That's great. That's great.
Then I was also considering making like a pro version of Super Rails, where there would be some deep dives or like videos that are too good to be free. But I often have this feeling like, okay, this video is like too good to be just like free. I know like Go Rails or Drift and Ruby would always like put this kind of video under like a subscription version. Like for example, my
Yeah.
video on like Trello board with like sorting lists and certain records inside lists. Like that was maybe I would say quite a genius episode of mine. And I was thinking like, okay, I should put it behind the paywall, but then then fewer people would see like this marvelous work of art.
Yes. Yes, I understand. But I think you should. We talked about this before. I think you should monetize it somehow, just because of the reasons that I said it before. Like projects like Go Rails, they do so well because they are also making money. They are also thinking about this very much. A big portion of their time, because they don't have to get like a different job and do other things. So I think if you monetize it, it will make you it will force you to put out some more, like this great kind of content, just because people are paying for it. So yeah, definitely think about it. And you can come up with alternative things, maybe just paying for a course or whatever. Well, you'll figure it out, I'm sure. But definitely I think it's time for you to monetize it somehow. Yeah, and if people have any ideas, feedback, definitely reach out, because I think the 5 people that are listening, we need your feedback on this. Yaro needs it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So anything regarding Super Rails, or regarding making videos or making superrails.com better, I would appreciate your feedback. Yeah.
uh,
So
Tell
anything
me
else you would like? Mhm.
yeah, for the next year,
Yeah.
besides Super Rails, Mark, sailing, do you have anything else in mind for like plans?
There is this framework for like planning the next year, for example, where you talk about like what you want to start doing, what you want to stop doing, and what you want to continue doing.
Oh, that's cool. We should put in the show notes.
Yeah, so start, stop, and continue. So I will continue releasing videos and blog posts, uh, and I mean the idea is around like 52 videos, like one per week, but we'll see how it goes based on the inspiration and interesting topics. Then continue with the friendly show. So season number 2, I'm not sure when season number 2 is going to start. It might be in a month, it might be in 3 months, but I'm sure it's going to be
Definitely.
lit.
Yep. Yep.
Then improve superrails.com, again make a separate tool for like gathering feedback, basically video ideas, voting for video ideas, commenting on these ideas. I'm going to name it Ask Vote. So
That's good.
then no, that is not continue. That is a start. So I'm going to start to make this like Ask Vote tool. I'm going to maybe start making like a premium version of Super Rails, where there would be maybe like a meetup for subscribers, like some kind of workshops.
Okay.
I'm going to start visiting the hairdresser more regularly.
What do you mean, man? You're good. You're looking good.
Oh, could be better.
Yeah, that's a cool framework. I had never thought about this. So, definitely continue with Avo, definitely continue with Friendly RB. These are two of my passion projects for right now. I'm going to start contributing more to open source. I've been playing around with this cool, library where, because I've been thinking where I could, put my skills to use for the community. And I think I have some front end skills. I know some JavaScript, and I know the Ruby community doesn't really want to dip their toes into that. So I have some cool projects that involve you writing less JavaScript by getting more value just from writing Ruby. So contributing more to open source and to the Ruby community in general. Ruby Romania on the road, that's gonna be something that we start. Maybe a new junior dev for working on Avo. I think I want to stop focusing on non-important things and push away the things that distract me. So and continue and I think that was it. Like stop and continue. Yeah, that I think that was it for me. And continue with Friendly Show. I think it started out like, okay, let's it's an idea, let's try and do it, but now it's become a passion project. And I hear people that they write to me like, hey man, I listened to your last episode and I think it's lovely that you're doing that and whatever. So 5, 6, 10 listeners that we have, we love you, thank you so much.
Yeah,
um
so in my list for stop, I also have written down stop scrolling Reddit before bed.
oh
So
yeah.
that's very similar to what you mentioned. Stop spending time on the distractions.
Yes, I agree. Just do your thing, bring value, and everything will be all
Oh,
right.
and obviously, like the classical New Year resolution, start working out.
Yeah, definitely. I need it, right? Yes, I agree. I agree. I think this
Yeah.
is a wonderful, wonderful time to tell everyone to have a happy new year. I hope everybody had good holidays with their family, with their partners, with their pets and everything. I hope you have a wonderful new year, and the Ruby community has a great year, because it sounds like it with the new projects that are launched, and we haven't touched upon that. Maybe in January we'll speak a little bit more, right? But have a happy new year, and let's see each other in cool events and
Oh, actually, Adrian,
online.
there's another topic I wanted to discuss. So,
Sure.
about other New Year resolutions by the Rails core team. So,
Yep.
they just released their vision of Rails version 8. And
Yes.
maybe we could go through the list and comment on it. So, I have it open now. There are 13 open, basically, topics that they want to work on. So, first, default PWA files. So, make when creating your Ruby on Rails app, it should be like a progressive web app by default. What do you think about
Yes.
this?
That's great. Again, it brings more value to people that don't really want to write JavaScript. I mean, PWAs are very powerful. They're starting to be more and more powerful, and like Rails does it, like in the nice Rails way of bringing frameworks that degrade people of writing new code. They just write it for you and just use DSL or something. It's just in the same style of helping you build PWAs very, very fast. And I think that's going to be very powerful for us to have. I don't know if other big frameworks have it the same way as we do it.
So, if you go to blog.cosigo.com, my blog,
Yep,
and open it from a mobile phone, it is actually a PWA. So, it should
that's
prompt
beautiful.
you to have it on your homepage on your mobile phone. And
Yes.
I'm using Jekyll there, and there is a Jekyll plugin like Jekyll PWA. And
Okay.
also, a couple of years ago, when I was creating the course, Learn Ruby on Rails 6 and Build a Multi-Tenancy SaaS application, I also have a chapter there on making your app into a PWA. So this isn't actually that hard, just you must understand how it works. Like there are
Yep.
service workers and manifest.js that needs to be updated, and uh, the like entry barrier to start a PWA is just modifying a few files. But
Yep.
one of my favorite talks at Rails World was the one about
Offline.
PWAs. Yeah,
Yeah.
where I think it was like the Chilean government wanted
Yep.
an app that should work offline, that should not be required to be installed as like through the App Store, that can sync data when it gets back online for the farmers. And they built
Yep.
a,
Yep.
Rails app that is a PWA that syncs with the database when there is enough bandwidth.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I love that talk as well. I saw it. Yeah. So this is a good start for PWAs. Yeah.
Okay, then there is
Next.
add the Rubocop by default.
Yep. That's good. I think it's good to have a direction, general direction in there as well.
So also in the comments to add Rubocop, there are a few people talking about like why add the Rubocop if you can add the standard. So it's like a collection of rules on top of Rubocop. And what do you think about that?
Mm, so I like the idea of standard, but whenever there's a rule that I don't like or don't agree with, it bugs me a little bit. Like the one that actually there's only one that bugs me with standard is not allowing me to add a comma on the last line when you're adding an array or something. And I think because it makes you have like two lines of diff whenever you're adding something new to that array. Rails should have a Rubocop starting point, and then people will just figure it out later. If you want to add standard, add standard. If you don't, you don't. But it's good to have a starting point.
Yeah, so I see many projects are using standard, but myself, I usually prefer Rubocop. I have around 20 rules that I have as a template for myself that I set up, and
Yeah.
usually these are enough.
Yeah, I just want to preface this like I am using standard with the standard rules and whatever. I
Mhm.
just don't like that rule, but I am using standard and I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, I think each to their own. But I do love having a direction from the core team. It's good to have good defaults and at least a direction. If it's better than nothing.
Maybe, yeah, I mean, if you're already adding the standard, maybe we should also add like prettier for JS, like for stimulus.
I don't know. I really dislike Prettier. I use ESLint and I think I'm using Airbnb's template or something. But I think we're getting too much into the weeds. Oh
Mhm.
no, I'm using standard as well on the JavaScript.
Okay,
But
so Adrian
yeah,
is a standard guy, and I'm in
yes,
the like pure Robocop camp.
yep.
Okay, so
That's a
next
good
one
way.
is Extract Action Notify framework for push notifications.
Agreed. Let's have it. I love these kinds of things. Like I'm just hearting it right now, liking it on GitHub. I love having these things out of the box. Even though if we have other gems that do it, if they're not like super well established, I love having these inside the framework itself.
Yeah, so
Or
there is this gem noticed that kind of provides this kind of functionality, but I really like the idea of, so they're adding PWA, and there are also like adding this action notifier where I guess you're going to have like a database table with like all the notifications that have been sent, and the uh, method they're sent, I don't know, like via Slack or via SMS, whatever. And most importantly, like push notifications so that can be popped up in the browser or for the PWA on your mobile screen. That is going to
yep,
be really cool. And I guess moving in this direction of like having Rails apps work well on mobile devices, this is going to be a very important shift. It's like with this
Yeah.
with Strada for making like native like
Yeah.
apps, with PWAs for not needing to make native like apps.
Yeah. There's one thing that I want to touch upon this. Like uh, there's this thing where, there's a community plugin, a community gem that has been built, and then the maintainers build something similar, and then the community thing, it's maybe a little bit more ignored, or people are starting to, question, like, okay, should we use the default one or should we use the community? I think that building something like this that the community already has, building it inside the framework, or like a first party product gem or package, this should be done with the community, with the maintainer that built the original thing, and with the community in general, because otherwise there will be these tensions and these, things
Oh,
and politics, like,
I'm quite sure it's going to go cool. So even in the comments to this one, to like extract action notifier,
yeah,
DHH mentions the gem noticed, and also he mentions
yeah,
active delivery gem by Palkan.
yep, yep,
So I'm sure they're going to like figure something out together.
yep. That's the
Okay,
most
let's move
important thing. Yeah.
forward. So add a default LSP for better editor IDE
Yes.
support in Rails 8.
10 out of 10. Agreed. I want it. I love it. Let's have this.
Okay, let's move forward. So add
Add
structured
structured.
login
Yeah.
next to developer login.
Again, love it. I want it. I'm doing they've written in the Git issue, in the GitHub issue. Yes, it's a real pain. Everybody does their own thing. I would love to have something out of the box and all the, logging services support it, and uh, love it. I want it into the framework.
Okay, add a built-in benchmark tool.
Yes, I
Uh,
would welcome it. Why not? Yes, I think it's like, why do we need to count the, like, why do we, I mean, I don't know, I never, maybe it's something that I never, hit any issues with this. Did you ever had any issues with benchmarking, or did you want to do this?
no, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, then
Okay.
make Ruby 3.3 the new minimum version. Okay, let's move
Agreed.
forward.
Yes. Okay.
No,
Okay.
let's not make it the minimal version. Let's keep Ruby 2.7. Okay. Add the basic authentication generator.
um
Oof,
did
this is
Yes,
a
yes,
tough one.
this is a tough one. um Coming from, so I'm coming from Laravel, and they have a wonderful story around authentication. I don't think they have any third party authentication uh projects or gems or plugins or whatever. Everything is first party, everything, and they have authentication for everything. Like, if you need basic, if you need username and password, if you need omniauth, whatever, everything is first party. And then they have good stories with working with React or SPAs, if you want to work with Livewire, if you want to work with different, UI frameworks. And it's just wonderful. You run a few commands and you have it. So yes, I want it in the framework as well. But we need to address the elephant in the room. Like, what do we do with all of the devices and Rodoth and other, authentication providers? Do we have a nice story of moving from one to another? Maybe that's not very important. That maybe there is, but maybe there isn't. But do we have all the features that we need in the framework one? Like, this is the thing that
I mean,
worries me the most.
as I understand, the framework one is going to be just a generated, like Rails generate authentication, and it is going to provide a way to set a user password, a way to set current user, a way
Yes.
to reset the password. So I would suppose you would still be writing your own views for this.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's very basic, then I wouldn't rush to use it. I'm quite happy with the
Yes.
authentication solutions that we've got at the moment. So, I mean,
Yes.
device has been going strong for so many years, and it has lots of plugins like device security or device two factor.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always just use OmniAuth, and recently I've
Yes.
been enjoying passwordless, so like Magic Link authentication.
Yeah, and I think this boils down like with the generating the things for you. Again, I think we spoke about this before. It leaves the security up to you. What if we need to, do some other things at some point? Okay, maybe somebody finds, a vulnerability and you need to patch everything. Then you have to patch it in every app that you have. Maybe this is why maybe I have a few question marks around generating the logic for it in your app. And the second thing is about the community. Like everybody's going to ask themselves, like, should I use DeFi? Should I use this new thing? Is it okay? Then people are going to maybe quarrel about, no, this is better because it's in the framework. No, this is better because it. And again, we need a good story about merging bridging these two together. And I think this should be done with the community, not just, hey, we launched something.
I mean,
Here it is.
I the way it's written down here is going to be like really basic, and it's just something that you could use. But
Yeah.
I would suppose that at least for the next few years, device and other authentication gems are going to stay strong.
Yeah. This is where I wish like we had a better story. It's not just okay, now we built this thing, it's half done maybe, or not half done, but not completely done. And yes, Rails has an authentication story. Here it is. But it's not perfect. Like I see this, and it's okay with first iterations. It's okay. Like I love this. You just bring out the first iteration, and then we iterate on it, make it better and better. But we need a story. Like okay, what's going to happen in the next 3 months? Are we going to improve this? Are we going to bring these new features? Are we going to have plugins and everything? Instead of just okay, this check mark this, we have authentication built in. That's okay. So there's that.
Okay, so next, add browser version guard by default. So basically, say that like you cannot use Internet Explorer or like an older version of Chrome or something else. So I mean, it kind of makes sense because like I know if somebody is using Internet Explorer and he opens your app and it just contains features that are not supported by Internet Explorer, then he'll think that your
Yeah.
website sucks. He won't think that the browser sucks.
I think it's a nice to have. It's like cores. Like if you want it, you can enable. You can set it up. If you don't, you don't. And it's good to have it.
Yeah, then make PropShaft the default asset pipeline in Rails 8.
Yes, let's do that.
So I mean, like
yeah.
if you're using SP Rockets now, there is basically no difference whether you use SP Rockets and PropShaft. Like there is no reason to use SP Rockets. Just use PropShaft.
Only if you use sprockets like from an older app and you have some SaaS things, some minification. Like if you watch the sprockets, the PropShaft talk at Rails World, which I ask like everybody to do, which it explains very well what the differences are and what are the problems that it tries to solve. That sprockets has too much logic and that does too many things. If you're using an older app, then you might get into like some issues. But if you don't, like you said, it's just a built-in replacement. So yeah, just use it.
If you're using if you have a Rails 7 app that is running SP Rockets, you should just like replace it with the PropShaft gem, and it should work out of the box.
Yes, do it. Perfect. Love it.
So solid cache should be the default caching backend for Rails 8.
Yes, let's do it.
So
I brought support. We brought support in Avo for solid cache. We just installed it. It just worked. It was perfect. No using Redis and everything. I love it for starting out.
Yeah, then solid queue should be the default active job backend.
Yes, I've been working on a solid queue UI for this, and I've been testing it out. I just love it. I want this in the framework as well. It should have this the framework.
Well, I mean, if you read the active job docs,
Yes.
in the docs it says that there are like so many different options for the processor of these jobs. Like you have Sidekick, you've got Sidekick that requires Redis, you've got the good job that is based on your PostgreSQL database, so you don't need like a separate storage for it. You've got I don't know rescue, delayed job, or whatever, and there are like so many to choose from.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I used
Uh,
delayed job a lot before, and I just love the fact that I could just peek into the database. I even built a UI for it at some point and some helpers within my app, and it was so easy to use. Like Sidekick does a lot, and that's amazing. And I think there are plenty of use cases for that. But sometimes I just like peeking into the database and having a quick and easy way to just do some things, check it out, check the errors, whatever. Build some tooling of my own. Yeah, so definitely I want this in the framework.
in superrails.com, for example, I use Good Job,
Yeah.
and at the moment I don't use Redis at all. So I have like no Sidekick dependency, no Redis dependency, and like the jobs are stored just with Good Job in the Postgres database,
Yep.
and that's good for me. And in other apps, I've got like Sidekick and Redis running. So I know if you are running Redis, there is no reason not to use. If you're already like using Redis for something, there's no reason not to use Sidekick.
Yep.
Or I suppose this Solid Q is going to be kind of a replacement to Good Job, and but I don't know. Maybe Good Job
The
has some kind of like PostgreSQL specific optimizations that Solid Q wouldn't have. I don't
So
know.
I think this word of replacement is a little bit dangerous. Like
Hmm.
it's not going to be a replacement, but maybe like some people that might have used Good Job now might try to use Solid Q. But I think Good Job being here for a while now. I haven't used it, but being here for a while, I'm sure that it has some optimization, some things that maybe Solid Q doesn't have it yet. So it's not going to be just replacement. It's not going to be the sprockets prop shaft built just replacement. So yeah.
But okay, yeah. Here's the case where I would definitely use solid Q instead of good job. If I have if I'm using Lightstack, if I'm using the
Yeah.
SQLite as the database, I mean,
Yes, yes,
if
yes,
you're not
yes,
using Postgres, then how can you use good job? But I really
yes,
love good job, and I have it in my backlog to make a video about it. I think last year I wrote a nice article about using it. It has a wonderful dashboard where you can track the jobs.
yes, yes. Perfect. And the last item on the milestone for Rails 8, set up Kamal by default for new applications. Have you used Kamal like in
Not yet.
production? Yep,
No, not
yep.
yet.
Me. I tried it once at some point. I think it wasn't called Kamal, it was called Maersk. I ran into some issues, but it's on me. I don't think it's on anybody else. Um, I think it needs, like, from watching some tutorials, some articles, it needs a little bit more polishing. I would build a UI for it. I think there's a project somewhere for it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Kamalify.
again, Kamalify, yeah, definitely. I think it's good. Like I used what do you call it? The Capistrano tool a lot before, and I loved it. Now I'm using Hatchbox a lot, which I love. It's purposely built for Rails, so definitely give it a try. Um, I think it's good to have it in the framework, to have everything set up, just work. So but I think this ticket is just for having it as default. So
I
yeah,
mean, I think now when you start a new Rails app, you will already have a Docker file that you didn't have before, and
yeah,
now you
yeah,
would also have like some kind of a Kamal config, YML file,
yep,
whatever. But
yep,
yeah,
yep.
from articles I've seen around, like lots of them about debugging Kamal or like making it actually work with your app. So I think it still needs some polish, and maybe in a year from now, you would just, I know, deploy it to an EC2 instance, and it would just work.
Yeah, I'd love to, Rails new and then the Rails deploy or whatever, Kamal deploy, whatever the command is,
Mhm.
and just to have it there. Like that's the best, cheat code a framework can have. Rails new, you just create a new one, and then you can deploy it just like that with nothing, no custom code written. That's the best cheat code because then you can iterate and have it on production, and more people can see it. It's from day one. So yeah,
I
definitely
mean,
want to have
with
it.
Heroku, it was more or less this easy. Like
Yes.
you push to Git, you type Heroku
Yep.
create, Git push
Yep.
Heroku main,
Yes.
poof, the app is running.
Exactly. I agree. Yeah, let's have this. I think this is a good list, and again shows how mature the framework is. And I cannot wait to have this out. They didn't say when, right? Just 2024.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm in no hurry. Like, I'm happy with
of course.
Rails 7 at the moment.
Yeah, and most of these things you can currently use right now. They're
Hmm.
just not default. Yeah, yeah. I'm loving the direction where it goes.
Yeah, so I think the only one that I'm really looking forward to that we don't have now is this action notifier thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Well,
I mean,
you can try the notify
yeah, but
the
if like
gem.
now I start using this notice
Yeah,
gem, and
yeah.
then a few months later they release action notifier, then I would be like migrating from notice to action notifier.
See, maybe this is a good place like for the community to create, the migration tool or something, a migration script, because it wouldn't be like so freaking difficult. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there are some complexities there, but maybe that's where the community can shine. And okay, let's everybody. Are you using this? Would you like to switch? Ta 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 ta. This is the tool. You just run this command. It will migrate the whatever for you. Yada yada yada. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, and what would you like to see on the list? Like, what would you like to have changed, to have different in Rails 8?
I don't know. It's a good question. I have never thought about this. There's one thing that I'd like to see more of from the Rails team, Rails core team, and the other team, and whatever. It's more collaboration with the community instead of just releasing stuff and saying, "Here's something that you can use. Use it if you want. If you don't, whatever." that's that's the only thing that I would like, to have a little bit more communication with the community, because the community has a word. The community is going to use it, so definitely talk to everyone about it. But otherwise, I think Rails has a great story with Rails 7. Has a great. It'll have an amazing story with Rails 8, and it's going to be like the best framework to work with to start a business. Definitely.
So I would say the helpers folder, like when you create a scaffold or whatever, there is this like post helper or user helper, and these helpers don't make any sense. I mean, they're accessible only in the view files, but if you like have a created at helper in the user model and created at helper in post model, they are not like isolated. They're globally accessible, so you don't really know which one you would be using. So the helpers folder doesn't make any sense to me.
Maybe a PR it. Try something new. To raise an issue. Let's talk about it. Definitely, if you have
Oh,
any
I'm
ideas.
sure that there are a few issues about it.
Ah,
Then
okay.
another thing, action text and tricks.
Yes.
I mean, I just don't get it. So action text has been released with Rails 5, and I have the feeling that like tricks editor has not
Yeah.
advanced at all since
Yes.
then, and action text either. So it's just like stale.
Yes.
I understand Basecamp
Yes.
is using the action text that they actually modified, like not the out of the box version for their apps. But
Oh.
I know if I want to have like some if I want to extend action text, there is no easy way. So
Yeah.
I know, like there's, for example, the TinyMC editor. I hate
Yes.
TinyMC, and using it
Yeah.
with the Rails 7 apps is a nightmare. And it does not support the dialog HTML element.
Yeah.
But at least with like TinyMC, you have a config file, for example, like where you can
You
have
can
a
add
list of
things.
plugins
Yep.
that you want to
Yep.
use or don't want to use. And with
Yes.
tricks, it's like so hard to extend it or like remove some features,
Yes.
add some features. It's just
Yes.
such a pain.
Yes. It is. I agree. Yeah, I come back to not having anything. Yeah, I would love tricks to be updated, to be or something new, if not tricks. Yes, people need extendability mod, something new to add to it. I see it with Avo. We use it in Avo, and I see that people need to add new things. And I think there are a few third party gems, but that's not the discussion here. The discussion is open it up, open tricks up, let people submit PRs. I mean, if you check out the issue about adding a strikeout button, they just say something like, "Oh, I don't think that's a good idea," and everything is closed. Like, why don't we have like an API for this? Yeah, I would love to have tricks be more open to collaboration from the community. I agree.
I mean, is it not open to collaboration? Like, if I open tricks, I think it has a lot of issues and PRs open. But, the point, the problem for me is not like, I know, maybe there is collaboration. Just I don't see anything new, anything that I can get value from in the last, like, since it was released. Anyway,
Yeah.
and the third thing would be components. So like view components or something like that. So like, I know you have a button component or a modal component. It's like being able to have Ruby code that is specifically with logic to a specific component. So like being
Yep.
able to not just have like partials and templates, but also some kind of components. So I think they were discussed in some point of time of having view components by default in Rails, but it got stalled.
I don't know. I like view components. I think, yeah, it's a good starting ground to build something more on it. So, and we've been seeing a few UI kits popping up. So definitely, I wouldn't want the Rails team to start working on a new components library. That's a thing that I wouldn't like. I want, okay, let's try to work with what we have right now because
I
it's
mean, if
well
view
established.
components just get integrated into Rails, that would be
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. But it's okay like this. I like it either way. It's okay.
Okay, so is there
Long
anything
episode.
else?
A long episode. No, let's
Mhm.
let's just say our goodbyes again. Let's wish everybody a happy new year, a happy productive year, and let's keep in touch on online and see each other on events.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. See you around. Bye.